A frightened 6-year-old calls 911, whispering that she just closes her eyes and waits when the scary parts come. A young officer arrives to find not violence, but a little girl caught between hunger, neglect, and the fragile care of an aging guardian. What begins as a routine welfare check turns into a quiet battle over love, memory, and survival. Dispatch hears a child. She says she waits for the scary to pass. An officer checks her pants and freezes. What he sees turns a routine knock into a race against a threat no one logged, a tidy house, a quiet street, a hungry child. This story doesn't shout, it whispers. Tuesday. The kind that makes adrenaline bored. Then Sarah Miller's headset crackles. 8 years in, Sarah can guess a call in 3 seconds. This one gives her none. The voice's breath, soft, child soft. Hello? Is someone there? The name comes slow. Lily Jensen. Age 6.5. Yesterday's cereal, nothing since. Sweetheart, are you hurt? Is there a grown-up who needs help? No, I'm alone. He didn't come today, so I just close my eyes and wait. He is the man who brings food when Grandma Edna has foggy days. Waiting is her plan. Today it isn't enough. Training says gather facts. Experience says ask better questions. Lily, who should be there with you right now? Grandma Edna. One answer beats 10 guesses. The address locks. The clock starts. Officer Matt Rogers is 28, rookie by years, not by gut. Welfare checks fill the gaps between real trouble until one line won't leave his head. I just close my eyes and wait. 6 years old is too small for rituals. Possible neglect, the report says. The silence says more. The Jensen. House is ordinary enough to pass as safe. The door opens a crack. Tangled hair, a single eye. Hi, Lily. I'm Officer Matt. Can I come in? She nods, steps back. The room smells like a place holding its breath. She moves like she's bracing, sits, shifts, a dark stain on pajama bottoms. Did you get hurt, Lily? My tummy hurts a lot, but I'm being brave. He checks and panics. Not what you think. Worse, because it's quieter. The fridge door hangs open. Enough food to survive, not enough to breathe easy. Triangles or squares? Triangles are special. She eats. He looks. Care exists. So does chaos. Love is present. Reliability is not. The front door creaks. Grocery bags rustle. Edna steps in. Grandma, I called the special number, Lily says. Grocery bags say soup and bread. Her story says prescription pickup. The details don't share a calendar. Love isn't missing. Memory is. The report demands a box, unsafe or fine. Reality sits between. Welfare check complete. Mark for follow-up. He chooses the third option. Don't blow it up. Don't look away. The call ends. The problem doesn't. Later that night, a badge hits a bowl. Groceries on a counter. You went shopping for them. Lauren Rogers asks. She's 6. She's sorting pills and rationing bread. If the system walks in now, it might separate them. Or save her. Tomorrow dinner. Unofficial. I'll look. You keep it quiet, not policy, a bet on people. When the system is slow, who moves first? Some emergencies scream. This one lingers in silence. For Lily, the danger isn't fire or intruders. It's an empty plate and a guardian losing. Her grasp on the days. Officer Rogers files the welfare check as complete, but the image of a 6-year-old rationing bread sticks in his mind like a thorn. That night, at his own kitchen table, he lays it out for his sister Lauren, who works in family services. She knows the rules better than anyone. Act too fast, and Lily could be removed from the only family she has left. Act too slow, and the cracks will swallow her whole. Lauren has seen this before. Love isn't missing, but reliability is. A child can't live on intentions. She agrees to step inside the story, unofficially. Tomorrow, dinner. A quiet look. It's a gamble, not policy. Just two people trying to patch what the system often misses. The next evening, Lily answers. The door again. This time, the officer isn't alone. Lauren carries takeout and a smile. For Lily, it's a feast, a break from the ritual of peanut butter and silence. Around the table, the little girl talks about school, about drawing, about how she waits for the scary to stop. The words land heavier now, because everyone in the room knows what she means. Edna hovers in the background, proud but scattered. Her stories repeat, her memory blurs. She loves Lily, but love isn't enough to anchor the details that keep a child safe. The meal ends, but the worry doesn't. The Rogers siblings exchange. A glance. This is more than one night's fix. This is the start of a choice. Step back into the system or keep showing up themselves. Days pass and the cracks widen. Lily's school calls to report more absences. When she does show up, she's tired, sometimes wearing the same clothes as before. Teachers see, but they don't always know the story behind the look. At home, Edna insists she's managing. She keeps lists taped to the fridge, reminders scrawled on sticky notes. But the notes pile up faster than she can follow them. One says, "Doctor appointment." Another says, "Pick up Lily at 3. Some are circled, some are crossed out, none are consistent. Lauren watches quietly. She sees a woman doing her best, but also a little girl slipping through the gaps of good intentions. One evening, Matt drops by unannounced. Lily is coloring at the table. The crayons are stubbed down, the paper full of bright shapes. Edna is napping in a chair, a TV humming low in the background. "Did you eat dinner?" Matt asks. Lily nods. "Soup, but the can opener was too hard, so I had cookies instead." It's the kind of answer that tells a whole story in a single line. The Rogers siblings argue in hushed tones afterward. Lauren warns that if family services steps in officially, Lily might end up in foster care. Matt pushes back. What if one more week like this is the week that breaks her? Both know the truth. The system is slow, and this child doesn't have time for delays. Meanwhile, Lily keeps doing what she's always done. She waits, she adapts. She closes her eyes and tells herself to be brave. But bravery doesn't fill a fridge. It doesn't replace medicine, and it doesn't steady the hands of a guardian losing track of the days. The fractures are no longer hidden. They're right there in plain sight. And the next slip could decide whether Lily stays in her home or loses it forever. Winter presses in, and the fragile balance tips. A neighbor calls police after seeing Lily outside alone at night, barefoot, clutching a stuffed animal. Edna had dozed off, and in her confusion, forgot the front door unlocked. When officers arrive, Lily is shivering but calm. She says she was waiting for the stars to come out, the same way she waits for everything else. It sounds innocent, but it lands like a warning. Matt hears the call and responds, heart racing. The sight of her standing there on the porch, too small, too quiet, cements what he already knows. The risk isn't a single moment of violence. It's the slow drip of neglect, the kind that doesn't make headlines until it's too late. Edna weeps when she realizes what happened. She apologizes, promises it won't happen again, but her trembling hands tell the truth. She's losing her grip, and she knows it. In the aftermath, Lauren takes action. She documents everything: the absences, the empty fridge, the unlocked door, the medical lapses. Each note is another weight on the scale. For Lily, though, the days blur together. She keeps drawing, keeps whispering to herself, keeps trying to be brave in a world too heavy for her shoulders. Her resilience is striking, but it is not a safety net. The system finally stirs. An official case is opened. Social workers schedule a home visit. For Edna, it feels like judgment. For Lily, it feels like a question she doesn't know how to answer: stay or leave. And for Matt and Lauren, it feels like a countdown. They've run out of room to wait. The decision is no longer theirs to delay. The breaking point has arrived. The home visit arrives. Papers shuffle, questions are asked, clipboards fill with notes. But the real story doesn't come from forms. It comes from Lily herself. A caseworker kneels down, eye to eye, and asks gently, "What happens when Grandma forgets?" Lily hesitates. Then she points to her stomach. She says it hurts a lot, and then she adds in a whisper, "Sometimes I don't make it to the bathroom. That's why my pants get wet. I'm sorry." The truth crashes down. What looked like carelessness or injury was something quieter, malnutrition and untreated stomach trouble. Not abuse, but the slow, invisible damage of missed meals and missed medicine. The officers' panic that first day wasn't misplaced. It was the body of a child signaling what words couldn't. Hunger disguised as sickness, pain mistaken for clumsiness, and Edna, for all her love, simply couldn't keep up with the demands of raising a 6-year-old. Her memory faltered. Her routines slipped. She wanted to protect Lily, but she couldn't protect her from neglect she didn't even see. In the days that follow, the decision is made: temporary placement. Lily would live with a foster family while Edna undergoes evaluation. It wasn't a punishment. It was a lifeline, one meant to keep both of them from breaking under the weight. Lily clutched her stuffed animal the day she left, and she asked the same question over and over. "When can I come back?" Edna stood in the doorway, tears cutting through the lines of her face. She promised she would get better, that she would prove she could be trusted again. Whether she could keep that promise remained uncertain, but for Lily the waiting was finally over. She wasn't closing her eyes anymore. She was being seen. The call that began as a whisper ended as a wake-up. It showed that danger isn't always loud, and that saving a child doesn't always mean storming into violence. Sometimes it means noticing the silence, the empty plates, the tired eyes. Sometimes it means hearing a 6-year-old say, "I just close my eyes and wait," and realizing the world can't let her wait any longer. Cases like Lily's rarely make headlines. There's no crime scene tape, no breaking news banner, just a child caught between love and limitation. Just a little girl learning to wait for things no child should have to wait for. For Officer Matt and his sister Lauren, the call didn't end when they logged it. It reshaped how they saw their work, not just as enforcing laws, but as noticing the quiet emergencies that slip past the system. For Edna, it meant facing a truth she didn't want to admit. Love was strong, but her memory was slipping faster than she could control. Letting Lily go, even temporarily, was the hardest act of care she could give. And for Lily, it meant she didn't have to whisper into the dark anymore. She didn't have to close her eyes and hope the scary would pass. For the first time in a long time, she could open them and find someone still there. Not every rescue comes with sirens. Sometimes it comes with a sandwich, a warm dinner, or a knock at the right time. And sometimes the difference between despair and survival is a 6-year-old's courage to pick up a phone and whisper, "I just close my eyes and wait."